10 here, and today I'm doing a review of the Transformers Masterpiece Thundercracker. And I know that this is a pretty old item, well, not that old, but not too new, but it's one thing that I have the box for, and is pretty cool that I haven't reviewed yet, so I figured, why not review it? As you can see, we have the old Hasbro Masterpiece packaging here. Now they're doing something similar to the Takara ones. You can see Transformers Masterpiece Thundercracker, and up at the top you got Masterpiece Thundercracker written in gold. Have a display stand included, and the figure's not in there because I've had it for a while. You can see a nice Decepticon logo, cool artwork of Thundercracker. He is probably one of my favorite Seekers. I mean, I love all the Seekers. I think I like his color scheme, one of the best, though. It's kind of hard to decide. You can see I have tape on there to keep that flap down. But you can see Masterpiece Thundercracker, Decepticon, and there's a little bio, in case you want to give that a read. You can pause it. Highly articulated and posable, robot mode, amazing detail, which it's semi-good. You can see two different heads, which, I'll get to that. That bothers me. Hidden missile pods, opening canopy, adjustable thrust vector, swing open nose cone, and it includes a display stand, and there are his technical specs. So alright guys, let's get the box out of here, and let's get the real deal in. Let's go get the figure. Alright, so here we have Masterpiece Thundercracker, I guess out of the box, but even though he's been out of the box for a while, and in his vehicle mode on his display stand. As you can see, it comes with a base, and then a little clear piece that you put underneath Thundercracker to make it look like he's flying in his jet mode. To remove that, you kind of just grab it and release off the top. To put it on, what you want to do is there's a little nub right there and a little hitch right there. You take the stand, you see this little hole here and that little hook. You hook the hook onto there, and then you just kind of push it like that. It can be a little bit of a pain in the neck, but you'll get it eventually. And then you kind of take that and slide that on. Now this can either slide on like this to make it go with the stand, or it can slide on back here to make it flying at you. Now that's for the jet mode. For the robot mode, you can actually, this way, stand it up so that it looks like Thundercracker is hovering in his robot mode, which is really cool. Other features of the display stand are, it does say it has painted Thundercracker right here on the front, which is really nice. You have a really cool purple embossed Decepticon logo. And then right here you have, and you can see some really cool detail on the stand. And then right here you have two, or well, really four missiles that you can put on his wings instead of the null rays. So we're going to get rid of this, and we will bring the figure in. Now, if you don't have it on the stand, you just have it like this, and it sits on the ground with the nose facing down. But obviously, it's Masterpiece. Of course, it's going to come with landing gear. So you want to come around to the bottom, see these little panels, and then you take those, flip those up, and then you come over here, and then you flip that flap open, and then open that, and then you flip that out. Oops, and I detached it. And then there you have Thundercracker rolling in his vehicle mode, which is really, really cool. Some other features of this mode is the opening cockpit, which can you just detach, and then you pull it open like that. And then he does come with a little pilot. Now, the Starscream version of this mold in Japan came with some sort of scientist from G1. I don't remember his name, but I have seen the episode. This one kind of just comes with a figure to be like a hologram, like it's chrome, but you can see it has pilot detail, which you can't really see too well because my camera is just terrible. But you can just plop him down in that little seat right there, and then close the cockpit, and then you have a pilot for Thundercracker. Now, another thing you can do, well, not really do in this mode, but it has, is his null rays. Now, here they are in his vehicle mode. You just take this peg and peg them on, and then I usually switch the sides, because when I have them in his robot mode, I don't want this peg showing. So, it's cool that you can attach this, like, underneath the wing, and then have this go in this ball joint right here, so that you don't have to detach them during the transformation. But I choose to do it anyway, because then you would have this exposed in the robot mode, and I like to have it like this. So here are the null rays, very accurate to the G1 cartoon. At first I was a little, skeptical because, there's not really any paint apps, but then I realized, well, they're not actually all blue, so I went and looked at the G1 cartoon, and this area up here should have some black, you should have some silver up in here. This is a little unpainted, which kind of bothers me, But coming back to the figure itself, if you don't want to have the null rays on the figure, you can just take these off, and then you can take these missiles that came with the figure, and you can put those underneath it, like that. Now, that is very cool, except I do prefer the null rays. So, taking those out of there, we'll just take those out for now. This does have some other features, I guess, in its vehicle mode. One being that he has an air brake. This just lifts up, and that's an air brake. I don't really remember what an air brake does, obviously, besides brake it. I don't know how it works. But as you can see, you have some silver painted detail in there, and then you have this flap that goes up and down with a nice little, I think that is die-cast metal inside there. It's a little pole that shifts up and down, so that's really cool. You have the big purple Decepticon logos on the wings, which I love. You have the red and blue. And right here on the nose cone, this will extend forward and will fold out to reveal a radar dish. Now, this would never happen in real life. If this happened, the plane would start freaking out because it's not aerodynamic. That's what the nose cone does. But that's kind of cool. I guess Transformers are savvy enough that they can fly with a no nose cone. But, as you can see, right here on his arm, this is going to be, is a picture of a camera, and that is, in fact, reflector. Now, I'm going to quote Optibotimus here. He pointed this out. Obviously, you can see on this, we have Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom, if you guys know me, you know how much I can appreciate that. Is a picture of Thundercracker holding Soundwave. Now, this was prior to Masterpiece Soundwave coming out, so that was a hint at Soundwave. There's a picture of a reflector, so maybe, just maybe, they're hinting at a Masterpiece reflector. But that's just a theory, I think, suggested by Optibotimus. On the side here, you can see it says LTC Joe Big Daddy Kide. And on the bottom, it says D24. I guess that's what kind of jet he is. On the back here, now, on the original Starscream Seeker mold, this is the second version, these little flaps here could open up. Now, they had no purpose. Open up, you see the internal mechanics, it's cool. That's the only reason that those two flaps ever opened up. Those now have a purpose, and it's a very good purpose, and I will explain it when we get to the transformation, which is what we're going to do right now. So what you want to do is you want to fold up the landing gear, if you do have it deployed, like I do, and in regards to the pilot can stay in there. You don't have to take him out. He can stay in there the entire transformation. It won't cause a problem, but it might cause a problem when transforming back to his vehicle mode, and it really won't get in the way, so I'm just going to leave it in there. So you can take these little flaps here and fold those down to behind the wing. And then you can take this wing and then just kind of pull that out. There's a tab holding it down, so you can't pull straight out. You have to lift up and pull out at the same time. And then you can take this, kind of loosen these up, and these will fold forward. But there's little tabs here that you're going to want to take, and you're going to want to fold those forward. And sometimes they can be a little tricky. To have that out, you just pull out the tab, flip it forward, and they can tab in up here, but you don't want to do that just yet. That's going to come in later. Well, I guess if you really wanted to, you could tab it in, but they're just going to keep coming out anyhow, so I usually won't worry about tabbing them in. Now, these things right here, I don't really like a lot, because you wiggle them and they come out. Well, obviously, they're not going to come out now, because it makes fun of me in the videos. But those will fall off, and mine is stress marks, so be cautious. And then, remember how I mentioned that these now have a function, and these legs, they just extend out. And then, now, what you want to do is take these, fold those up, and now, you take the feet, fold those down, and then you flip that up, and then you take this, flip that down, rotate that around, and then separate the legs, kind of just do it one joint out, and now we can finally get to the purpose that these now have. Back in those days, this figure could not stand for its life, no possible way to get it to stand. Now what they did was, in this second release of the figure, there is a heel spur that will fold down out of these flaps, so they gave these useless flaps a purpose. And now Thundercracker can stand, or well, the Seekers can stand perfectly fine, which is so cool. And now what we want to do is just take these arms, fold those out, rotate the arms like so, fold out the hands. We'll get to those later. rotate the arm. You want to take this middle section here. You get that to separate. What you want to do is kind of just mosey it on down here, which can be a pain in the neck. This figure has a lot of loose joints, and things can come out and come untabbed a lot, which really becomes an issue once the robot mode is complete, but I'll explain that a lot more later. Now we come to this headpiece. I'm going to have to angle up a little bit more. Now what you want to do is you want to take this, and you want to open the cockpit, and then take this piece and pull that down, and then you want to make sure the pilot's nice and snug in there, and then push that back, and then close the cockpit again, kind of cutting it off. Stand it back up, and then what you want to do is you want to take this panel, and that will just come unpegged, and then you can take his head, and there's a little thing that you have to push his head through, which can kind of be scary because you might scratch up the side of the head, which I have done to my figure. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it because it's part of the transformation, but then you can just push this nose cone through his chest, and then, guys, his head actually popped off, but then once you have the nose cone through, you can kind of pull this all down, and then just kind of take his whole body and kind of just push it down. And then you want to get that back panel pegged into that nose cone area, kind of straighten everything out. And minus the null rays, ladies and gentlemen, here you have Thundercracker. By the way, you had to peg in those wings to his back. Here you have Thundercracker in his glorious robot mode. Now, I absolutely love this mold. I think this figure is phenomenal, which all the more makes me want to have the Starscream version, but unfortunately, that is $200 plus internet prices, which will rise that baby up to, like, now $500. But anyway, what you want to do is you want to take his null rays, if you did remove them, and you want to hold down the bolt joint and just peg that in, and then take this and peg that in. And in this mode, you can still have the rockets pegged onto his wings, but I choose not to. And then you have Thundercracker with his null rays, complete how he should look. This figure is absolutely phenomenal in my opinion, and if you want, you can pull these forward a notch. I choose to do it one notch, so right about there. Well, really, yeah, I guess it is there, because that's how it should be. But, yeah, I absolutely love this figure. I think it is phenomenal looking. The mold on everything is just amazing. Now, in the box, it said it had two heads. On the original Starscream mold, you could lift up his head and take the face and flip it and push it back up. You can't do this on this one because they took it out. His face can't go up, and some people popped off the head and almost broken their figures trying to find it. That's false advertising on the box. There is no way to get two faces on this figure. But speaking of the face, that is just, I really wish I had a good camera to give you a nice up-close shot of that face. But his face is just absolutely phenomenal looking. I love the look of his face with the dark red eyes and the kind of melatonin look. Melatonin, I don't even know if that's a word, but I just love the look of this figure. For the articulation, his head is on a ball joint. His arms are on a ratchet joint there. They also swivel at the bicep, and I really love the articulation on the null rays as well. There's a double elbow joint. His wrists will swivel. His thumbs have a ball joint, and then his fingers are kind of cool. This joint and then this joint here are ball joints, and then this joint is individually articulated as well as that joint. And then his legs will go forward and back, out to the side, will swivel. They have a double or single knee joint, and then you have some articulation, a swivel, and a pivot in the foot. Nothing in the heel spur, but of course we do love that new heel spur. That is fantastic. Now leading to the first problem that I have with this figure is nothing holds in all that well. Sometimes things can become very loose. For example, when you try to lift his arms, that panel will want to come up with it, which can get very annoying. So if you want to move his arms, you have to hold that down and then move them. Also, if you're picking up the figure often, that will happen. His chest does not lock in. As you can't really see it because my light, but in there, where I'm touching it right now, there's a tab, and there's a tab on the bottom of this that tabs into there, but I've gotten it to tab in. it's not a very secure tab and doesn't really help with the security of his torso locking in. And this is actually supposed to be inside this little crotch plate, but sometimes you just can't get it. There we go. And I just absolutely love the articulation and the overall look of this figure. I love the wings coming out from the side. That looks amazing. I just think overall this is an amazing looking figure that you guys should seriously pick up. I actually, not too long ago, did I see Thundercracker starting to disappear from Toys R Us. I just think this is one of the best masterpiece molds. I only have 4 masterpieces at this point in time, being Optimus, Year of the Horse Optimus, Regular Optimus, Thundercracker, Soundwave, and Prowl. And this isn't my favorite. If I had to choose, this would be my least favorite. But it's not that I don't like it, it's just that I like the others more, which says a lot about the others, because I so adore this figure. One thing that he does have is the missiles right here. You can lift up these 2 little just exhaust things, and there you go. And you can see he has missiles, which is weird. I think Starscream used those in an episode of the cartoon, but I could be mistaken, because I don't really remember. Now, for the stand, I did tell you guys that you could use it in his robot mode. And one thing I actually forgot to mention, the vehicle mode, was he does come with this little peg that will peg onto the bottom of the nose cone. If you have the gun of the Megatron gun that came with Masterpiece Prime, or Masterpiece Soundwave, or Masterpiece Original Prime, or MP3 Starscream, that pegs into the bottom of the stand. That's kind of useless, so I didn't really bother to show it off, and it falls out half the time. And it's doing it again. There we go. We're just going to put that down nice and gently, and it's falling out, so we're taking it out of the camera. So, here's the stand. You just plug it in, and as you can see, there's a little hole right there and a little base for something to sit on. If you take Thundercracker, and you kind of have to move some stuff to get to this hole, you lift this up, and like I said, his chest comes unpegged. There's a little nub right there that you plug in to that, and he can sit on that little thing right there. And, well, if I could get everything looking nice again, it looks like Thundercracker is flying. Now, I'm not going to make any cool poses like I do when I display him, but it does look like not really on camera because you guys can't really tell, but it does look like Thundercracker is flying, which is very, very cool. It gives that effect, and I absolutely love this display option, and that's why I use it. Some people might say it just looks like he's being elevated by a plastic thing, but I don't think so. I think it looks like he's flying. That's what it is to me. So we're going to set him down right there and pull this stand out of the way. For a size comparison, here's Masterpiece Thundercracker, Optimus Primer MP10. Now you can see Optimus is a lot taller, but this is the scale that they're going for, starting from this guy, and all figures after that follow the size scale. So this is accurate to what would have been in the G1 cartoon. This really is a fantastic figure with really good articulation, and I don't think I mentioned that the head sculpt on the other figure was actually different. On the Starscream figure, the MP03, this is, I think, MP12, it was actually different. It, the head sculpt was slimmer, and it was just a little different. But I really do love Thundercracker, and I really want Acid Storm, and, what's his name, Sunstorm. I want all those figures, because they're Seekers, and I really would love to have all the Seekers, but unfortunately, that won't happen, because they won't release Starscream here in the US. You did it, you're gonna do it for Grimlock again, you did it for Soundwave, you did it for you're doing it for Prowl, you think you'd do it for Starscream. Sorry about that. But alright, now we can transform him back to his vehicle mode. So what you want to do is you're going to want to pop these things off his arms. And then when you come to the hands, you want to take those, fold those in, take this, fold that in like so. Well, actually, I was wrong. It goes to the bottom like that. You want to get the fist looking like that, and then you can fold it in. Redo that now. Fold it in, and then you want to take this and extend this up, and then unpeg that, and then take that out like so, and then kind of just have this whole exploded mess right here. And then with Thundercracker, those panels that are pushing, that you can push in on the side of his head, you want to push those in, and then get that through the little area where his head has to go in. And you can take that and kind of start pushing that back down there. And with the cockpit, right now you can take this and you can get the pilot back out, which might take a little bit of doing, but you plug that back in, take that, and then that can plug back in like so. Take those, put those like that, take these flaps, take them out, and kind of, well, not kind of, but you want to come back to the legs, and then you want to fold up these flaps, and then fold in the heel spur, and then take that, fold in the heel spur, and then you want to take the legs together, peg them together, come around to the feet, and then do that, and then take these, and then those can kind of fold out like so. And now, well, I probably shouldn't have done that because I need him to stand up, but oh well. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this, extend that up, and then you want to take these shoulder bits and push them into there like so to get that to stay up. And then you want to put these inside like so. And then when you come to the arms, you want to keep that up and then keep that like that. And then do that, do that. And then this is kind of tricky. You have to get this in here and then get it in line with this panel on his hip joint, which can be a little finagly at times. Okay, do that. You come back here, flip these out, and then you want to take these wings and flip them around, getting them ready to go back in their regular position. This can peg back down, this can peg in, and then there's a whole series of pegs and tabs that you want to get these wings tabbed into, which might take you a while, but after some practice, you kind of learn the right maneuver of how to get those tabbed in correctly. Then you want to take this, fold these out, and then, well, that is probably going to come unpegged on you because it doesn't like to cooperate. Then you want to take that, shove that in there, and then take those, fold those down, fold out the flaps, make sure everything is nice and straight in his vehicle mode. And then I'm going to take out the landing gear, like so. And it can be a pain in the neck sometimes. Then we're just going to do that. And do that. And ladies and gentlemen, after you have everything situated all nice and like how you want it to be, here we have the Transformers Masterpiece, I think MP12, well, yeah, MP12, right? I think it's MP12. It was MP12 Soundwave. This is Masterpiece 11. Masterpiece 11. Alright, guys. Well, anyhow, well, I guess I can show you something real quick. This peg on the bottom here, you just take that and you can have this peg in, but it doesn't really even stay in. Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you guys sticking around for this whole review. I'm sure most of you have. So, alright guys, thanks for watching the review of the Transformers Masterpiece MP11, I would believe. Toys R Us exclusive Thundercracker. And until next time, have a great day.